My name's Joella. Thank you for joining me for some yoga this morning. We're going to get started in just a second, lying on our backs in Shavasana. Just a reminder before we get started, please make sure that you're listening to your body. Take any modifications you need as they come up. Feel free to pause, grab a sip of water. I wouldn't recommend drinking too much water while you're working out just because it can make your stomach feel heavy and sloshy, but little sips of water throughout your practice would be a good idea. And then of course, if you have any underlying medical conditions or are starting a new exercise routine, please make sure that you've cleared it with your doctor. So go ahead and lay down into Shavasana. So just a comfortable position on your back. You can have your knees bent, feet flat to the floor if that feels better on your low back. But we're going to start here. You can close your eyes for a moment and just begin to take some deep breaths. Just noticing how they feel in your body. Not really trying to change anything yet. Notice if anything's sore or tired. Maybe you're feeling really energized today, really excited to start your practice. And then just slowly begin to deepen your breath. Lengthening your inhales and exhales. Trying to make them even so that your inhale is the same count as your exhale. And then beginning to breathe just in and out your nose. In yoga, we breathe through our nose because it's a natural filtration system. It also helps heat the body and make us more aware of our breath. But if at any point you need to breathe through your mouth, that's okay too. It's more important just to breathe. Go ahead, take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And exhale out your nose. This time inhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. Continuing this on your own. Again, trying to make your inhale and exhale even with each other. Maybe 5's too much. Maybe you need to do 4. Or maybe you can do a little more. Maybe you can take it to 6 or 7. On your next inhale, hugging your knees into your chest, you can gently flutter your eyes open if they were closed. Just rocking from side to side for a moment, massaging your low back. Then we're going to extend our feet down to the floor. But this time, instead of being in like a relaxed Shavasana position, we're going to begin to focus on our muscle engagement here. So toes and knees pointed up towards the sky, and think of like if you were standing up and you fell over. Okay, so imagine an imaginary floor under your feet, like you were going to press into all 4 corners of your feet here. And your feet should be about parallel to each other and hips distance apart, so from the bony structure of your hips down. Think of lifting your quadriceps, the large muscles on the front of your thighs, up, and then your inner thighs, wrapping them in and back, so pressing them down towards the floor. While you do that, think of lengthening your buttocks / your tailbone down towards the backs of your heels, and your hip points just gently up toward your low ribs, keeping a little arch in your low back here. So your low back should be, an inch or so off the floor, like you can slide your hand under there. Now just relaxing your hands down by your side, think of broadening through your collarbone. Shoulder blades gently come together and press forward towards your rib cage. Just gazing up. Breathing here, the Supta Tadasana. Let's do one more breath here. And go ahead on your exhale, hug your knees back into your chest. All right, extend your legs back down your mat, toes and knees pointing up to the side, or up to the sky, excuse me. Same thing we just did, so Sutasana, standing up like you were gonna stand up nice and tall here. Legs are engaged. We're gonna inhale our arms up overhead, so right now they're pointing up towards the ceiling. And again, imagine where your shoulder blades are. So you can kind of make them spread out and your hands go closer to the ceiling, or you can squeeze them way together and your shoulders come way down towards the floor. But we're in a nice like neutral, kind of in between there. So our shoulder blades are engaged, they're gently pulled together, and again, pressing forward into like the backs of our rib cage. We're wrapping our outer upper arms in towards each other. Okay, like your pinky side of your hands, we're gonna come closer together. So here, your arms are nice and engaged. Exhale here, inhale them up overhead. So now we're in Supta Urdhva Hastasana. And you might not reach your hands all the way up and over. They might stop right like in your peripheral vision. And that way we're maintaining integrity through our spine. One more breath here. And exhale, go ahead, hug your knees back into your chest. Gently rock from side to side. Releasing your legs back down to the floor. Finding that same muscle engagement. This time, inhale your arms up overhead. And then exhale them back down to your side. Again, inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, down to your side. Keeping that engagement in your legs, so thighs pressing back, toes and knees pointed up. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bringing it back down to your side. Go ahead, bend your knees, plant your feet to the floor, hips distance apart, heels right underneath of your knees, feet parallel to each other. We're gonna exhale here, inhale, press through all four corners of your feet, lift your hips up off the ground. Go ahead, clasp the outer edges of your mat and wrap your outer upper arms in towards each other. So it's that same action we had when our arms were up here, outer upper arms wrapping in, but when they're down by your side, they're wrapping in towards your ribs. So pressing into your feet, hips lifted, and then press a little bit into your heels and think of moving your heels. They won't actually move, but moving them toward your bum. So like up towards your back. That's gonna sort of heat up and engage your hamstrings on the backs of your legs. Breathe one more breath here. And exhale, lower it back down. We're gonna do that one more time. So feet hips distance apart, parallel to each other. Exhale here, pressing your feet down to the floor. Inhale, lifting your hips up. Think of your tailbone, your buttocks flush, lengthening towards the back of your knees. Front hip points lifting towards your low ribs. Collarbone broadening, clasping your hands in the outside of your mat. Outer upper arms wrap in. Again, pressing down through your heels and moving them up towards your head. I know I really feel that in my hamstrings. One more breath here. Walk your shoulders back out. Come back down and bring your knees up to tabletop. So knees right over hips and ankles right in line with your knees. Bring your arms out to like goalpost, or if you have room, all the way out to the side. We're gonna inhale here, exhale, knees come over to the right, not all the way down. They're gonna hover off the floor. Inhale back up to center, and exhale over to the left, keeping your feet flexed. Knees right over hips, inhale back up through center. Exhale, lowering it down to the right. Knees are right at hip height. Inhale back up through center. Exhale over to the left. We're gonna do this 2 more times, moving with your own breath. Option to straighten your legs and have your legs extended as you move them out over to the side. I don't have enough room to do that here, but if you have the room in your home, please feel free. It's gonna make it a little harder for you. So exhaling as your legs move out to the side, hovering a few inches off the ground. Inhale back through center, keeping your shoulder blades down on the floor, so pressing down through your shoulder blades. And inhaling your knees back into your chest, Apanasana, rocking from side to side, massaging your low back. And then beginning to rock forward and back from tailbone to shoulders for 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, as we come up, we're gonna pause in Navasana boat pose. So again, feet can be like tabletop, so in line with your knees, or you can extend them. Hands can stay right behind your hamstrings, or extend in front of you. One more breath here. Cross your ankles, and then go ahead and just sit up for a moment. We're gonna do that one more time. If that sort of hurts your bum, it hurts my tailbone a little bit to be on the hard floor, even with my mat. So you can roll it up a little bit so you have a little more here. Or if you have a towel or yoga blanket or anything like that, that's an option too. All right, so feet come flat to the floor, hips distance apart. Sitting up nice and tall so you're long through your spine. Arms can be extended or right behind your hamstrings. Great. Exhale here and inhale, lifting your legs up to tabletop. Now imagine if you had a block between your knees. You're squeezing that block, so engaging your inner and outer thighs. And then imagine you had a block between your palms. So hands or shoulders distance apart, that same action we had when we were in our Supta Urdhva Hastasana, lifting your arms up. All right, sitting back up, crossing your feet. You can put your mat back out if you had it rolled up. And then either come up and over or swing your legs around to the side, but we're gonna meet on all fours. Wrists right underneath of your shoulders, knees right underneath of your hips. Cat-cow. So nice deep inhale, belly button drops, collarbone broadens, tailbone lifts towards the sky. And then exhale, belly button to spine, chin to chest, tailbone lengthening towards the backs of your knees for cat. Moving with your own breath, inhaling into cow, and exhaling, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Pressing into your hands, find that same engagement, wrapping your outer forearms in, coming back to plank, or to all fours. So we're gonna step back into plank pose. Again, making sure that your wrist creases are parallel or slightly turned out to the front edge of your mat. Wrists right underneath of our shoulders. We're gonna step our right foot back and left foot back to meet it. So pressing down through our hands, finding that same sort of neutral spot for our shoulder blades. And then that same engagement of our legs. So pressing down through the balls of our feet, lifting our quads up into our thigh bones, inner thighs wrapping up towards the ceiling as you hug your outer hips in and lengthen your tailbone down towards your feet. One more breath here. Hinge forward slightly so your shoulders come over your fingertips, and then begin to bend your elbows, chaturanga, lowering all the way down to the floor. Bringing your hands down by your side, uncurl your toes, tops of your feet press down to the floor, and lifting your quads up, tailbone lengthening down. Exhale here, inhale, chest, shoulders, arms lift up off the floor, palms facing in towards each other. One more breath here. Inhale, lifting your legs up. Finding length here, so from the crown of your head down to the tips of your toes. Back of your neck long, breathing. One more breath. And exhale, lower down. Bring your hands shoulder distance apart, and then walk them back so that your wrists are right underneath your elbows. Exhale here. Press down through the tops, or the balls of your feet, lengthening your tailbone back. Inhale, press into your hands, upward facing dog on the balls of your feet. So lifting your thighs up away from the floor, lengthening your tailbone back. Breathing here. Lifting from your inner thighs, thinking of your hip points coming up towards your low ribs, coming into downward facing dog. Hands are shoulder distance apart, maybe slightly wider if you're tight through your chest. Feet are hips distance apart. Pressing through the thumb and first finger as you wrap your triceps in. Lifting your tailbone up towards the sky, a little bend in your knees so you can prioritize length through your spine. Next, relaxed. One more breath here. Walking your hands back towards your feet. Forward fold at the back of your mat. Clasping opposite elbows here. A little bend in your knees. Weight comes forward into your toes. You want your outer hip right over top of your ankles. Rock from side to side, gently releasing your low back. Then releasing your hands to your floor. We're going to flow through Ardha Uttanasana 3 times. So exhaling here, inhale, lengthening through your spine, lifting from your hips. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Thinking of your shoulder blades coming together and pressing forward into your ribs. Exhale, fold. Last time. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, staying all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, folding all the way back down. Walking your hands out into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, chaturanga, option to lower your knees down. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Little micro bend in your knees. 2 breaths here. Walking your hands back towards your feet again. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to your side, Tadasana, mountain pose. We're going to do a standing figure 4. So feet hips distance apart, hands right at your hips. Go ahead, root down through your left foot, lift up on your left quads and think of lengthening your tailbone down so you already have that engagement in that leg. Go ahead, lift your right knee up to hip height. Externally rotate it so that your thigh and ankle are pointing up towards the ceiling. Cross your ankle over your left knee and sink your hips back. Now if you need a little support here, you can find a chair or a wall to help you with your balance. We're getting a nice stretch through that outer hip. One more breath here. Sitting up, unwind, sit it down, other side. So press down through your right foot into all 4 corners, lifting on your inner and outer arches, lifting up on your quad. Left knee comes up to hip height. Externally rotate that leg, set your left ankle over your right knee, sinking your hips back like a one-legged chair. Lengthening through your spine, lengthening your tailbone down, lifting your hip points up away from your thigh bones. One more breath. Pressing down through that right foot, staying back up, and then bringing your left foot down to meet the right. Okay, back at the back of your mat. Inhaling your arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, walking your hands out, plank pose. Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, lifting from your inner thighs up and back, downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, hands down to either side of that right foot, stepping back, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward dog, left side. Left foot steps up, high lunge. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breath here. Pressing down through your hands, through your feet, lifting your tailbone up. The bottom of your exhale, looking towards your hands. Walk, step, or float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to your side, Tadasana again. Surya Namaskar B. Inhale, arms forward and up. Exhale, chair pose. Lifting your hip points away from your thigh bones. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, stepping your feet back, Chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot steps up, high lunge. Exhale, Chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward, high lunge. Exhale, Chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Little bend in your knees, lengthening your tailbone. Just breathing here. Pressing down through your hands, outer upper arms wrapping in. Just allowing your neck to relax here. Your ears are right between your biceps. One more breath. The bottom of your exhale, looking towards your hands, walk, step, or float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to your side, Tadasana, mountain pose. Just take a breath here. So still at the front of our mat, feet hips distance apart, hands to your side, Tadasana. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, hips sink back, chair pose. Feet are hips distance apart, outer hips hugging in. Imagine you had a block between your thighs. So like you were squeezing that block, engaging your inner and outer, your inner thighs, outer hips. Arms forward and up, outer upper arms wrapping in. Sinking back a little deeper. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale here, exhale, twisting to the right. Keeping your left hip crease pulled back slightly, so it's staying in line with your right. You didn't let it creep forward as you twisted. Really hugging your outer hips in. Inhale, unwind. And exhale, twisting to the left, finding length in your spine. Hips still hugging in. Seeing if you can feel if that right hip stayed in line with your left. Inhale, unwind. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Stepping back, downward facing dog. Lifting your right leg up and back, three-legged dog. So it's right up to hip height. We're not opening it way up, but keeping our hips neutral, toes and knees pointing down towards the floor. And that's gonna help us keep our spine long, keeping both sides of our torso even, and hugging our outer hips in. One more breath here. Inhale here, exhale, pulling your knee towards your nose. Inhale, reaching it back, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to your right tricep. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee crosses your midline, coming over to your left tricep. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, lowering it back down to meet the left leg. Taking a breath here. Inhale, left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Pausing here, outer hips hugging in, keeping that left hip in line with your right. Still thinking about the engagement of your arms, so pressing down through your hands, wrapping your upper arms in. Inhale here, exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, coming forward, knee to your left tricep. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, knee to right tricep. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, lowering that left foot back down to the floor. Plank pose. Or I'm sorry, downward facing dog. Getting ahead of myself. One more breath here. Inhale, forward to plank. Pausing here for a moment. Trying to find that shape of your Tadasana here. One more breath. Hinging forward slightly. Exhale, lower all the way down, Chaturanga, to the floor. Okay, another Shavasana. This time we're going to extend our arms overhead. So finding that same engagement as in our Urdhva Hastasana. Outer upper arms wrapping in, palms facing towards each other like you're pulling the whole pinky side of your arm in. You can look down towards the floor, placing your chin or your forehead down. Starting with the tops of our feet, pressing down, engaging your quads, lengthening your tailbone down. Exhale here. Inhale, chest, shoulders, arms lift. Trying to keep the back of your neck long, shoulders gently pulling down away from your ears. One more breath. Exhale, lower down. I find it significantly harder with your arms up overhead. So just, if that's how you're feeling as well, you're not the only one. All right, one more. Exhale here. Inhale, chest, arms, shoulders lift, outer upper arms wrapping in, extended right from shoulder distance apart. This time lifting your feet up off the floor a few inches, finding length from your fingertips all the way down to your toes. One more breath. Exhale, lower it down. Bringing your hands right under your shoulders, walking them back so your wrists are right underneath of your elbows. Pressing the tops of your feet down, lengthening your tailbone back. Exhale here, either inhale up to cobra or upward facing dog. Lifting from your inner thighs, lifting your front hip points up towards your low ribs. Shoulders over wrists, broadening through your collarbone, pressing down through your hands. One more breath. Lifting from your inner thighs, up and back, downward facing dog. Breathing here. One more breath. Lift your right leg up and back, three-legged dog. And right away, exhale, knee to nose. Sit your right foot down the inside of your right hand. Setting up for high lunge here. So feet maybe a little wider than hips distance for this particular one. So walk your back foot out a couple inches. Here, make sure your right heel is right behind your right second toe, and your knees right over your ankle. Outer hips hugging in. Inhale, arms forward and up, placing a micro bend in that back knee for a high lunge, Anjaneyasana. Breathing here. Pressing down into the heel of that front foot, reaching back through the heel of the back foot, lengthening your tailbone down, lifting your front hip points up. Exhale here, inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Exhale your hands down to your hips. Lean forward slightly so the weight's a little more into that right foot, and we're going to spin our back heel down. You might have to step it in an inch or so. But now we're pressing down to the outer edge of that left foot and pressing this left quad up into our thigh bone, and then thinking of your inner thigh reaching back. Tailbone still lengthening down, hip points lifting up. That's protecting our low back. Fiercely pressing down to the outer edge of that back foot as that thigh wraps in. But not forgetting this front leg, pressing down into your heel. Thinking of this inner right knee coming over to the right so that you can see your big toe to the inside of your knee. Outer hips hugging in. One more breath. Press into the toes of that front foot, lifting, lengthening through that front leg. And exhale, hinging forward from your hips, so your hip points are tilting forward. Parsvottanasana. You can bring your hands down, just really gently resting on your leg, not actually putting any weight there so that we're not hyperextending, but just so that you have somewhere to rest. Of course, if you have blocks at home, this would be a good place to have blocks. Or if you can maintain that length through your spine, tilting forward from your pelvis, you can reach your fingers towards the floor. Pressing down to the big toe mat of that right foot as you gently reach back through the right hip crease. Still pressing down to the outer edge of the back foot as that inner left thigh wraps in. One more breath here. Exhale here. Inhale, back up, warrior one, arms up by your ears. Exhale, hands down to either side of that right foot, back heel pops up, step it back, downward facing dog. Breathing here. All right, reach up and back with your left leg, three-legged dog. And on your exhale, bringing your knee up towards your nose, setting your foot down the inside of your left thumb. Again, maybe feet slightly wider than hips distance here. Back heel, reaching back, front heel behind your second toe. Inhale, arms forward and up, high lunge. Little bend in that back knee so that you can lengthen down towards your tailbone towards the floor. Lifting it up from that inner back thigh, hugging your outer hips in. Outer upper arms wrapping in. Strong here, shoulders down and away from your ears. One more breath. Release your hands down by your hips. We're gonna spin that back heel down towards the floor, maybe stepping it in about an inch so that the outer edge of that back foot presses down to the floor and lifting up and back from the inner right thigh, pressing that quad up into that thigh bone as you lengthen your tailbone down, lifting your front hip points up. That's gonna protect your low back here. Pressing down into the heel of that front foot. Lifting from your inner left thigh, so your inner left knee is going over to the left, not falling into the center. Breathing here, really hugging in your hips. One more breath. Inhale, straighten through that front leg. Sitting up nice and tall. And exhale, hinging forward from your hip points. So pressing down to the big toe mat of that left foot as you gently reach back with this left leg. You can bring your hands down very gently to your left leg. You can keep them on your hips or maybe to blocks, fingertips to the floor. Lengthening all the way from the crown of your head through your tailbone. Keeping that outer edge of that back foot still spinning down as your inner thigh spins up and in. One more breath. Standing back up inhale, warrior one. I realize I skipped something on this side, so go ahead, spin that back heel back up so you're back in your high lunge. Inhale, straight, lengthen both legs. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale, bend. One more time, inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale, bend. Pausing here. Exhale, hands down either side of that front foot. Step it back, downward facing dog. One more breath here. The bottom of your exhale, looking towards your hands. Walk, step, or maybe float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Pausing here, sinking back into your hips, pressing down through your feet. Squeezing your outer hips in, wrapping your outer upper arms in. One more breath. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, meet in downward dog. So flow through your vinyasa or skip it. Pausing here for a breath. Lifting your right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Outer hips hugging in. Exhale, knee to nose. Setting your foot down on the inside of that right thumb. Feet are on railroad tracks, hips distance apart. Left heel reaching back. Inhale, arms forward and up, high lunge. Pressing a little more into the heel of that front foot. Micro bend in your back knee, lengthening your tailbone down. Arms come out to a T. We're gonna wrap our right arm over our left, bringing your palms together. Gomukhasana arms, eagle arms. So bringing your elbows up to shoulder height and bringing your hands kind of between your eyeballs here so they're not out to one side or the other, but right in the center. Breathing here. One more breath. Hinge forward slightly. Nice long line from the crown of your head to your back heel. If it's too much, you can release your hands to your hips, or if you'd like a little challenge, press down through your right foot, lift up through your right quad, hug your outer right hip in, hinge forward, and lift that back leg off the floor to hip height. Warrior three, Virabhadrasana 3, with eagle arms. Hugging your outer hips in, left toes and knees pointing down towards the floor, lifting it up through your right quad. One more breath. Nice and controlled, bending that right leg, stepping your left foot back, back up to high lunge. Exhale here. Inhale, release your arms out to a T. And exhale, hands down to either side. Option again to flow through your vinyasa or skip it and meet in downward facing dog. Pausing here for our breath. Left leg lifts up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, sitting it down on the inside of your left thumb. Feet hips distance apart, reaching that right heel back. Inhale, arms forward and up, high lunge. Pressing down to that front foot, lifting up on that back inner thigh, tailbone lengthening down. One more breath like this. Outer hips hugging in. Arms come out to a T. Opposite arms. So this time left arm underneath, right arm on top. Palms together. might be wrong. I said that wrong. Right arm underneath, left arm on top. That looks better. Okay. So left arm's on top, sorry. So bring your elbows up to shoulder height. Hands between your eyes, lifting it up on your inner back thigh, lengthening your tailbone down. One more breath. Begin to hinge forward slightly. So nice long line from the crown of your head to that back heel. Pressing down through that right foot or left foot. Engaging that quad. Slowly beginning to move forward, keeping your outer hips hugging in. Right leg lifts up to hip height. For Virabhadrasana 3 with eagle arms. Pressing down through all four corners of that left foot, lifting up from your inner right thigh. Spine nice and long. One more breath. Gently stepping back into your high lunge. Pausing here. Exhale here. Inhale. Release your arms out to a T. Hands come down to either side of that left foot. Option to flow through your vinyasa or come into downward facing dog. Pausing here. Step your right foot up to the inside of your right thumb. We're going to heel toe the right foot over behind our left wrist, bringing your right knee down behind your right wrist. That right foot can now move in as much as it needs to towards your left hip. And then wiggle your left leg back, but it stays right behind your hip socket. It doesn't go out to the side. Sitting up nice and tall here. We're going to keep this as a back bend. We're not going to fold forward. So if you have a block, you can place it right underneath of your right hip. Or if you have a towel or yoga blanket or anything and there's space there, you can put it there. But we want our hips to stay squared over the center and not let them fall out to one side or the other. So really lifting your front hip points up. Think of lifting your back low ribs away from your sacrum. Pressing your shoulder blades forward towards your ribs. One more breath. Hands come down to the floor right underneath of your shoulders. Curl your back toes under and step it back for downward facing dog. Other side. Left foot steps forward. Gonna heel toe the left foot over behind our right wrist, sitting your left knee down behind your left wrist, bringing that left foot in as close to your right hip as you need, and then wiggling your right foot back. Again, legs right behind your hip and not out to one side or the other. So really lengthening your tailbone down, keeping your hips over the midline, lifting your hip points, thinking of maybe your pubic bone moving up towards your belly button. Hands can just stay on your hips, shoulders relaxing down away from your ears. Rounding through your collarbone, shoulder blades gently pressing forward into the backs of your ribs. And breathing here. One more breath. Hands come down to the floor, right underneath of your shoulders, tucking your right toes under, stepping it back, downward facing dog. Pausing here for about 3 breaths. I'm just going to neutralize our spine before we do any sort of forward folding. Little bend in your knees as you lengthen your spine up and back, pressing through your hands. One more breath. On your exhale, gently bring your knees down to the floor, maybe about max distance toes touch, hips come down to your heels for Shavasana, child's pose. One more breath here. On your inhale, walking your hands back up to your seated position, and you can just swing your legs around in front of you. So extend your left leg in front of you, and then plant your right foot to the floor, to the inside of that left knee. Sitting up nice and tall, really rooting down through both of your sits bones and lengthening up through the crown of your head. Inhale here. Exhale, you can place your right hand right below your right hip or behind, and then twist gently to your right. You can look back over your right shoulder if that feels good on your neck. Go ahead, exhale, unwind. Extend your right foot down to the floor to meet your left, rooting down through your sits bones. Bend your left knee, planting your left foot down to the floor to the inside of your knee. Sitting up nice and tall, really lengthening through your spine all the way from the crown of your head to your tailbone. Inhale here, exhale, twisting to the left, bringing your left hand down behind your left hip, looking out over your left shoulder if that feels okay on your neck. Exhale here. Inhale, unwind. Make sure you have some space behind you and gently roll on down to your back. Plant your feet hips distance apart, lengthening through your tailbone, and then gently think of bringing the soles of your feet together and opening your legs out to the side. So you can have your hands here for support. If you have blocks, you can place them under your knees. Or if this does not feel right in your body for any reason, you can do this sitting up instead of lying down. This is Baddha Konasana, or Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound angle pose. One more breath. And just use your hands to gently bring your knees back up through the center. Keeping your left foot planted down to the floor, right straight down from your hip. Cross your right ankle over your left knee for figure four. You can stay right here, or you can lift that left foot up off the floor, moving your left shoulder. Somehow I activated Siri, sorry. Moving that left knee toward your left shoulder. One more breath. Left foot comes back down to the floor. Uncross your right ankle, left ankle over your right knee. You can stay right here, or you can begin to bring that right knee up towards your right shoulder, interlacing your hands behind your hamstrings or maybe over your shin. Keeping your feet flexed, thinking of opening that left knee out to the left. more breath. Release your right foot back down to the floor. Uncross your left ankle. Hug your knees into your chest. Gently rock from side to side. You can take a happy baby here, reaching up for the outer edges of your feet, keeping your sacrum, your low back down on the floor. Trying to get your ankles over your knees. One more breath here. And then making your way into Shavasana, final relaxation pose. You can keep your knees bent if that feels better on your low back, or you can extend your legs down your mat. And just find a comfortable position where you can get out all the little fidgets in your body. And take a few minutes to intentionally clear your mind. Just allow your breathing to be natural. Allow your body to feel heavy. You can stay here in Shavasana as long as you'd like. When you're ready, just begin to bring your awareness back to your breath, wiggling your fingers and your toes, inviting movement back into your body. Maybe rolling out your ankles and your wrists. Hug your knees into your chest. And roll over to your right. Using your left hand, press yourself back up to a seated position. Another cameo from my cat. Take a nice deep breath. Go ahead, inhale your arms out and up. Exhale your hands down through heart center. Pausing here. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning. Namaste. Thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed your practice. Again, my name's Joella, and I am here Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 10 a.m. for yoga, and then also at 5 o'clock on Friday afternoons for total body conditioning. So I hope maybe you can take another class. Thank you.